What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Your Ball Was Out podcast, presented by Phil from Tweener Head Tennis. This is the podcast where we give exclusive, untold stories, news, and perspectives on the game of tennis. Now, today is the second episode of our new segment, The Future of Tennis and College Tennis and Junior Tennis. We still don't have an official name yet, but would love to hear your thoughts. So if you leave a comment down below of what you think we should name this part of the podcast or podcast segment, let us know down in the comments below if you're watching this, or leave it in the comments section on any podcast platform. Like I said, it is the second episode of this segment, and a lot has... It's crazy because I started this segment for the podcast as national letter of intent signings were happening last week, and so much has happened. At the time of the recording of this, and by the time this is out, the NCAA Individual Championships will be starting or have started, depending on what time this comes out. So I'm hopefully getting this out before, so fingers crossed. And if you do see this beforehand, we are having an NCAA Individual. We're having a college tennis bracketology, bracket challenge. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave that in the show notes, podcast notes, and description if you're watching this on YouTube. But hopefully you guys get to join in. The winner of the challenge gets a $25 gift card to their place of choice, within reason, of course. But let's just jump right into it. We had our first episode of this segment last week, so I apologize if I'm looking down on my computer if you're watching this, but if you're listening to this, not really missing much. You're just listening to me talk out loud. But for our second episode, what we've missed, we had the Junior Davis Cup wrap up right after we finished the first episode, and the U.S. took home the Junior Davis Cup title as well as the Junior Billie Jean King Cup. Now, there is some incredible talent to watch out for on both of these teams, to say the least. We did a video on one of these players, two videos, I should say, one on the boys' side, one on the girls' side. Michael Antonius, he's a 13.2 UTR. He... According to Zoo Tennis, if you don't follow her, make sure you are following her. She has an unbelievable daily article that comes out every morning talking about ITF level, junior level, everything like that in the U.S. tennis. She writes for tennisrecruiting.net, so definitely check her out. Made a video about him because she said he was the first player born in the year 2010 to get ITF Pro and ATP points. So he was on their Junior Davis Cup team. So was Andrew Johnson, who's a 13.2 UTR as well. Both five-star blue-chip recruits. Unbelievable talent that you need to watch out for. Andrew Johnson was in the finals of Kalamazoo in the 16s. He's won 2 titles this year, a J100 and a J200. Michael's won a J300 Spring Pan Am champion. He beat Andrew Johnson in the final, too, and he made the quarterfinals of the 18s category at Kalamazoo, and he's the clay court national champion. The third player to watch out for is Jordan Lee. He was on that roster as well. I'm not sure. I personally couldn't find that many results from him on the junior circuit. He's currently a 12.8 UTR. So I had a little bit of trouble finding some research out about him, but from the reception that he got from other players in the tennis world, he seems like a really nice kid, unbelievable talent. So definitely someone to look out for as well. Maybe not showing the results, but definitely a talent to look out for. For the girls team, I mean, what can you say about this team? The Penikova twins, Annika and Christina, as well as Julieta Perea. Let's start with Julieta. She was the other person that we made a short video about, of Columbia descent, already sponsored by On Running. Been playing pro tournaments while playing some of the junior high level events as well. She made that semifinal run at a WTA level event in Colombia as a wild card from qualifying to the semifinals. She's She won the J300 in Indian Wells. She won the J300 in Roehampton before Wimbledon. This girl looks like she's going to be the real deal, and she's definitely one to look out for. Like we said in our video, if you haven't checked that out, we have it up on Instagram as well, so you can learn more about her there. The Pennikova twins, both 16 years old. Let's start with Annika, W15 South Carolina finalist, two-time J300 semifinalist this year, J500 finalist at the Banana Bowl this year, and she won two W15 doubles titles this year with her sister Christina. Christina seems to be the higher rated one on the UTR level as well. She won a J200 in South Korea, semifinalist in a J500 in Osaka, Japan, semifinal and final results in back-to-back W15 women's pro tennis level tournaments. And she won the consolation draw at the girls' national tournament in the U.S. So these 6 kids, unbelievable talents that you definitely have to look out for. Pennikova twins, I believe they're twins. They're both 16, but they've been on a lot of people's radar. Same with Giulietta. A lot of these kids are on pro level radar, so definitely make sure you're following them to make sure you're staying up to date and current with a lot of these players. In terms of top junior events coming up, I guess if we're going to college tennis, NCAA individuals, but that doesn't really count for juniors. Top junior events, we have the J500 in Fort Lauderdale is the Orange Bowl that's happening, as well as the J300, the IMG Academy International Tennis Championships, which is formerly known as the Eddie Heard Championships. So make sure to stay tuned for more information on that, but that's not coming up till later this month, early December. In terms of the college, there's so much college going on right now. We had NIL signings last week. We had Parsa bombs that were happening all the time. We have a couple to highlight some local kids in the 203 area in Connecticut, where I'm from. 2 girls just committed to Auburn University, joining the likes of Ava Esposito, who's also from Connecticut, who's playing D1 and playing the NCAAs this in the next couple days. Ireland O'Brien, a 10-2 UTR, 14 in the nation, committed to Auburn, and then Kaya Mo, who was the number 1 in Connecticut, number 1 in New England, and she also committed to Auburn. So you have those 2 going there, as well as on the men's side, Gordon Gallagher, number 1 in Connecticut, number 1 in New England, just committed to Baylor. So shout out to Woodson, Coach Mike, for showing out the 203 love, getting him to Baylor. Unbelievable program for an unbelievable coach and player. So it's going to be really cool to see those kids representing the 203, like Mary Stoyana has done, like Elliot Spazziri has done in college tennis as well. There's definitely a lot more that I'm forgetting, but those were the local ones that I pointed out. Shout out to our guy Omar as well, who just committed to William and Mary. Our top Parsa bombs as well, since a lot more has been coming out with the NLI, National Letter of Intent. With that stuff coming up, 2 names that I wanted to point out that just signed. I guess the biggest one is Oliver Bonding from Britain, who just committed to TCU. He was a former top 10 player in the world for ITF juniors from the United Kingdom, former number 8 in the world to be more specific. A 13-6 UTR coming into college, which is unbelievable. Roditi does it again. He was number 3 in his recruiting class, as well as one that just committed to Georgia Southern, a 12-3 UTR from Italy, William Miracci. Yeah, if we can do that. But those 2, Oliver and William, were the 2 ones that stood out to me, at least in those regards, as well as the girls that committed from Connecticut. Also, with the NCAA selections and draw that came out, definitely check out our bracket challenge down in the description below, down in the podcast notes, wherever you're watching this, there'll be a link to it as well. Just make sure you make your own bracket by duplicating the main bracket and then filling in your own answers and labeling it as your own. Hey, buddy. My dog trying to get in the video as well. But that's happening November 18th to the 23rd, 22nd or 23rd in Orlando. If you want to be following a lot of their content, make sure to check out Not Your Country Club. They'll be there. No Ad, No Problem. John will be there as well. Cracked Rackets will be there as well. They'll be streaming probably every match going on there. And probably Zoo Tennis will probably be there. And there will probably be so many others that you can watch out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Wilson Tennis, who did put out a post for college tennis in the draws that were happening. They shouted out three former players that played college. They're sponsored by Wilson with Peyton Stearns, Gabby Diallo, and Alex Kovacevic. Stearns played at Texas. Diallo we've interviewed here when he was at Kentucky, and Kovacevic he went to the University of Illinois in Champaign. So that is kind of, excuse me. Sorry, Otis again. Those are just some of the things that are happening, as well as we talked about Jay Friend. If you guys didn't see it already, we did a live stream watching Jay Friend's documentary following from the ITA during his All-American run and championship run, I should say, at the All-Americans. And it looks like the ITA did a smaller version or a shorter version with one of the women's players, kind of like almost like an episode 2 with Valerie Glosman. Went through her All-American run as well in her winning, so that was pretty cool to see, but definitely shorter and wasn't as in detail. Maybe we'll have a longer version coming up, but that was definitely something to look at and something to watch if you're trying to get into college tennis as well. It looks like they're doing more with their content, which is awesome to see, so hopefully we'll get a lot more long-form content like that coming up as well. And then last but certainly not least for our take, our Tweener head take of this episode, will probably the length of schedule. Talking about the length of schedule for pro tennis is a different level, but since we're focusing on junior and college level tennis, why are we continuously making the season, I guess it's making it more meaningful by making it longer, by having individual championships at or in the fall rather than the team one being in the spring and the individuals being in the spring as well. But they're trying to make it longer and try to have kids participate in these championships. But the fall has always known to be as a place for kids to kind of acclimate themselves with school, with their new teammates, with their coaches, with their training programs, with their new schedule, their new life. And putting the individual championships in all of these tournaments beforehand without giving them time to kind of acclimate themselves to their new lifestyle is something that is very tough to do on such a short notice, or short span, I should say. And I get why they're doing it, so that way they can make the season longer and have a lot of these kids playing. But looking at the draw for the NCAAs that came out, a lot of the players that are registered in school that have pro potential are not necessarily playing college events. I think we're lucky that Michael Zhang is playing the NCAA individual tournament because he's defending his title. DK Suresh, who was playing a lot of pro tournaments this summer at Wake Forest as well, he's fortunately playing with them. He came from an NAIA school in Georgia Gwinnett. Jay Friend, the reigning All-American champion, is playing for the men. Ali Tarvit, not in the singles draw. Rafa Hadar, top 200 in the world, not in the draw, representing University of Virginia. And a lot more than I'm probably forgetting off the top of my head. But even for the women's side, Cadence Brace registered to LSU. Kayla Cross registered to LSU. Both those girls are not in the draws for the women. So you're missing talent that are playing pro tournaments currently and are registered for classes and are taking classes, but are not playing the NCAA individual tournaments. So it's, I don't know, this is only the second year they're doing it, but it's still one where you're kind of wondering why they're doing it like this. But they're trying to do it so that way they're playing more college events rather than pro events to keep them in that college athlete bubble. I don't even say bubble, but just that college athlete title. So that way they're playing more college events. They're representing their college more in competition for a longer period of time rather than just playing pro tournaments during the fall and then playing just the team event or the, the All-American competition that they're having for the U.S. Open wildcards at the end of the year. So let us know what you thought of that in the comments below. Let us know what your thoughts are for the NCAA tournament. Let us know your predictions. Make sure to fill out your bracket so that way you don't miss out on the competition. Would love to have you guys join in. This is the first time we're doing it, so hopefully you guys participate. Make sure to follow us on all social medias, and we hope to see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts on what we talked about and who you want us to talk about in the next episode. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, so listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it.